16 cities, 16 matches. This is how I'm going to travel the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Dímelo, mi gente, this is Travel Football Fan. I'm helping fans save money and travel the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And what better way I can help you with those travel plans than to show you my first draft of my travel plans for 2026. These plans, by the way, were featured by the Wall Street Journal. All right, so the map on my right represents my first draft of my hopeful World Cup travels for 2026. That's right. Why do I call it 16 cities, 16 matches? Because I want to go see at least one World Cup match in each of the 16 host cities, which means this looks like I'm going to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on my travels, which is why I'm taking the time to plan now. Mind you, you're watching this video in 2025. I've been planning since I came back from Qatar back in December 2022 to see how I can leverage and use my travel points and miles to be able to save as much money as possible off from the expected airfare and Amtrak travel that I am going to be doing, hopefully, for 2026. Now, I wanted to share a few caveats to this travel plan. O sea, cositas que is going to probably change this map from a first draft into a final draft. So first off, ¿dónde va a jugar Colombia? Where is Colombia going to play? I'm Colombian American, in case you didn't know, and I really want to go see them play at the World Cup. They haven't qualified yet as of January 2025, pero ojalá by the time you see this video, they have. And so where are they going to play? So I might have to change my plans based on when I can get those tickets for a Colombia match. The second, July 4th, okay? Part of me wants to go to the Philadelphia game on July 4th because it's going to be a vibe. Independence Day in Philadelphia, Independence Hall, kind of the whole, we got our independence of the British. But admittedly, the politics of the time right now in American society are not that great. I'm concerned it's going to be filled with too much of the red stuff, and I'm just not really interested in being amongst that crowd. So do I go to the July 4th match in Philadelphia? Third, Mexico. Can I get one of those tickets? I mean, my wife is Mexicana. It would be kind of cool to go see a match in Mexico, ideally for la Selección Mexicana. But where can we go see Mexico play during this World Cup? And then fourth, it's kind of tied to the July 4th Philadelphia match. Do I want to go see a match of the USA men's national team? There are two opportunities to do so in Los Angeles, one in Seattle. Again, depending on the vibes, I might or might not want to go to one of those games for the USA. Okay, so let's go ahead and review the map. I'm just going to run through the entire dates, okay? If it looks weird, funky, complicated, yeah, that's kind of the point. It is going to be complicated. It is going to be challenging. So that's why we're doing all this planning now. June 11th, I want to go to that opening match in Ciudad de Mexico. So that means I'm going to try to get into Ciudad de Mexico at least the night before, if not earlier. Then June 13th, go fly to San Francisco, or at least be in San Francisco for the June 13th match. The next day, get to Monterrey to go see that match. The next day, June 15th, now towards Los Angeles. June 16th, fly to Kansas City. June 18th, be in Vancouver. So I'm flying basically on the 17th to Vancouver. And then I'm going to take my first Amtrak ride down to Seattle for the June 19th match there. I believe that's the USA match. Again, that's if I want to go to that match or if I can get tickets to it. Okay, that ends the first phase. I have to get back home. I probably will have a job back by that point where at most I can maybe take that week break using the weekends to my advantage. And so I need to get back to work. The next break I could maybe get is this June 26th through June 29th, where I would go to Guadalajara to go see the final match there in that city. Then June 27th to Dallas, and then June 29th to Houston. Instead of flying to Houston, I might drive down to Houston. That might be an option for me, and then head back home. Home, of course, is in the Washington, D.C. area. Then the next little phase, July 2nd, fly to Toronto. July 4th, fly to Philadelphia most likely, and then just take the Amtrak down to D.C. The next little phase, July 9th, fly to Boston, although I could take the Acela train up to Boston. That is an option for me. And then July 11th, fly down, be there for the Miami game there, and then, of course, fly back home to D.C. the next day. July 15th, it's a round trip. Go to Atlanta, fly there, and then come back. I could drive there. It's going to take me a bit longer, though. Amtrak is also not the most reliable in terms of distance now. Amtrak is really going to be more useful for the Northeast, which then I will use on July 19th. I will take the Amtrak up to East Rutherford, New Jersey to go see, hopefully, the final of that tournament. All right, complicado. No, it seems like it's a lot. It looks like I'm going to be needing to spend thousands of dollars on airfare alone, much less the hotels, in order to be able to pull off this trip. Well, that's the thing. This at least now gives me an idea of just how many of these cities I'm going to be flying to, that then I can start thinking about the amount of miles I'm going to need. Now, let's just be, for transparency's sake, honest here. I've only have, as of this moment, about $120 saved for the World Cup. That's because I decided to use the $4,000 I had saved by December 2024 to pay off my student loans. So I'm basically starting from zero again. So the challenge here is I might not have enough money to buy all of these flights, much less all these tickets, okay? Second challenge, having all the miles necessary for this. Of course, with my wife, we also do some additional travel outside of the country. I'm planning to use those miles to, fly business class abroad. So is my strategy going to be affected because now I'm using up those miles? It's a total possibility. Absolutely. I'm going to either have to, what is this? Increase my spending, which is not what I want to do to earn miles. That's not really a good idea. Instead, try to earn more miles through my credit card referrals. That could be one way to do it. Another way, of course, is with Amtrak, for example, keep filling out those surveys so now we can get some additional points. Although at this point, I do probably have enough Amtrak points that I'm going to be covered for this travel. Or I'm going to have to maybe readjust where instead of going through that July 2nd, July 4th, I go to fly to Toronto, then fly to Philadelphia. I might just plug in this Philadelphia, Boston, and Newark, right? Even though I want to go to the final, maybe try to plug all those three together as much as I can, or reorganize this where I'm going to those cities first, right? Use my Amtrak points, save me money there, and then maybe I'm just going to Newark twice. That is totally a possibility. That way I cut down on the amount of flying that I'm doing. Of course, another option would be for me to try to collect as much Alaska Airlines miles as possible. Now, why Alaska Airlines? I do fly often to Seattle because my wife is from Seattle. And at least Alaska Airlines is connected with the One World Alliance, which then that means it connects me with American Airlines. So that means from DCA, which is an American Airlines hub, I can get me to Seattle. I can get me to all the points where American Airlines has a hub at, which would be Miami, which would be Dallas. So that does help me bring some connectivity. Of course, then flying from DC to Mexico, I do have the option to use my American Express points, my Capital One points, to transfer them either to Avianca or to Aeromexico or to Air Canada to book United or Aeromexico flights. You see how I'm kind of just shooting off all of these ideas in my head? That's exactly why you want to start planning all this, because at least now with this plan in mind, I can start saying, okay, I can optimize this portion of the trip better, or I can optimize this portion of the trip. And now you already know, okay, I want to, start collecting these airline miles or get status with this airline so I can get priority boarding, free check bags, all of these things. That's what you want to start thinking about right now. Okay. Like I said, this plan is going to change. But as I really follow the mantra of one of these quotes, and I'm going to paraphrase it here. Plans are useless, but planning is essential. The whole point of this is planning. So in that way, once you know which tickets you buy for the 2026 World Cup, you know where your teams are going to be playing at, that day of the draw, hopefully within the next couple of days after that, you're going to be able to buy your travel and book it as soon as possible. So in that way, you are beating the competition of everybody else that's going to want to come here to the United States, Canada, and Mexico for this tournament. And that way, you're not paying as much in terms of prices, taxes, and potentially you might not even have a seat on the plane or be able to rent a car because everyone would have taken up those reservations there at that point. Okay, mi gente, let's end the video here. If you have questions about my travel plans, please let me know in the comments, okay? Make sure you do subscribe to my channel to get more of this type of content to help you plan, I should say, your travels, plan your money for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I know we also have the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. If that is something you are interested in, learning how to travel better or how to sync those two tournaments together, again, you can go visit my website, travelfootballfan.com. You can go ahead and sign up for a consultation with me. I will help you organize yourself and create a customized travel plan just for you. So in that way, you can become a financial winner during these World Cups. Because the last thing I want y'all to do is to get into debt. Last thing I want y'all to do is to, run up that credit card and then they gotta come and knock you with those interest rates. I don't want y'all to do that. No quiero que vaya a vender la casa y que tira la abuela en la calle. All right? Don't do that. There is a way to financially responsibly enjoy these tournaments and still be a financial winner. Look, again, I'm with you in this challenge. I only have 120 some bucks saved right now in my savings account. We're going to work together to get to these tournaments with money in the bank so that way we can enjoy these tournaments sin tener que preocuparse que si tengo suficiente aquí o que si tengo suficiente allá. All right? Mi gente, again, subscribe. Go ahead and click the bell button so that way you are notified of when I bring out more of these videos. I'm going to be really focusing on YouTube now because of what's going on with TikTok. But I very much appreciate your support. Share this video with your friends and family so that way everyone's on the same page. There ain't no point gatekeeping this because look, man, I mean, we're all gonna know and we're all gonna go to the same place at the same time. So we might as well help each other out. Thank you so much, mi gente. This is Travel Football Fan. Hasta la próxima.